That right there is the redneck ingenuity at its best. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papaw's place. Guys, today I'm out here in the shed. Done got a little warm out here, so I'm in the shed with the air conditioner running here. And we got our Weston Electric, and this is called a tomato strainer. But this tomato strainer comes with 3 different combs. And I got the fine comb put in there right now, and I've used these to strain my tomatoes for tomato juice, and I used the big one here for sauces. But today we are going to try this Weston tomato strainer juicer. It's a juicer. I don't know why they just call it a tomato strainer. But I got approximately 4.5 gallons. I got this pipe full, and then I got a couple more quart bags of Muscadines that we're going to try to juice through this Weston here, so we can have us some juice to make us some jelly with. So we're going to see how this turns out. Before I get started, these Muscadines here, I got some 2-year-old Muscadine vines. And as they ripen, I picked them and I put them in quart bags and froze them in the freezer until they got done producing. Now they done producing, now I'm ready to juice them. So we finna test this out. Now guys, you can see as this is juicing, the pulp is coming out the end. After I get totally done, I run this pulp back through here the second time. Guys, some of these berries here ain't totally thawed. Some of them still frozen. So what I'm going to do after I run them all through, I'm going to run the pulp through the second time. And then I'm going to run the juice with what pulp's in here through the third time. Some of them froze a little harder than I thought they would. give y'all a close-up of what it looks like on this first run. As you can see, the first run, it's got a lot of pup, but we're going to run that through again the third run. The second run, we're going to run just this pup back through to get more juice out of it. Then we'll run this through the third time to get less pup than that. Now guys, look how dry that pulp is. But still, I'm going to run that back through just to get a little bit of juice out of it. But it ain't much in there. But that's dry. But, like I said, I'm going to run all this back through there again. And then we're going to strain it through a bag. Y'all seeing where I had a little water in this pot, but still that's mixing with that juice, because it still got juice off them Muscadines. So I just go on and pour, because that wasn't but a couple cups of water. Alright guys, now I'm going to run this pup back through there again. And after I run it through there again, what's left in this bowl is going to go out to the chickens. And after the end of this video, you'll see how much the chickens enjoy that. I ain't going to get much juice, but I am going to run it through there again and get a little bit more juice. See a little bit of juice coming out. Uh-oh, we done choked the motor down that time. We done choked the motor down, guys. I ain't never choked the motor down on this thing before, but I just did. See if we can take it apart here and get her unchoked. I ain't never choked it down doing tomatoes. I put too much in there at one time. Guys, I got the motor a little hot. I used this thing 2 years on tomatoes, and I ain't never done that on tomatoes, but I just overloaded it on this, running that puck back through there. I can't even pull that out with my hand. So I'm gonna take that out to the outside sink and see if I can get that undone, and hope I ain't burnt my motor up. Alright guys, lesson learned. Trying to run the pup through the second time with the fine screen didn't work. I burnt my second screen. I ended up having to cut that second screen off. So I no longer have a fine screen for my tomato juicer. Yeah. So y'all learn the mistakes by me and don't try that. It jammed it up so tight, I couldn't even get it removed without cutting it off. Now this, we're gonna try the middle screen now. But I ain't running the dry pup through there no more. We just gonna feed it through the chickens. I'm gonna try running all this juice through there again on the middle screen, and then I'm gonna have to take a bag screen and screen out all the pup. All of this right here, the first pup is going to the chickens. It ain't getting run through again. So I don't know if I can purchase a fine screen for this or not. Not only that, I may have done burnt the motor up. I don't see no reset switch. So we're gonna have to let this thing cool off and see if I done burnt the motor. If I have, I'm gonna just take this pan of juice with this pup, run it through a cheesecloth like the old-fashioned way, and get my juice out. But right now, this thing ain't turning back on. So in the meantime, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go set this in my refrigerator, let this motor cool off and see if I can get the motor back running, and then we'll continue this video. One thing about Papaw's place, you see the real events. It ain't no hiding stuff. It's showing you how things work in the real world. Well guys, I'm finishing this the old-fashioned way. Through the old strainer bags. Alright guys, now the chickens is finna enjoy the pup off of these Muscadines. Like the old hens like it. The little hens don't know. Alright guys, this is the next day. I had to finish juicing my muscadine juice by running it through that strainer bag, but the good thing is that I done run it through this thing one time before I burnt the engine up on it here. So I finished juicing it, and I got up this morning. Well, actually I had right at 8 quarts of juice, and probably could have got just a little bit more, but I got tired of squeezing on that bag. I knew I wasn't gonna need that much juice. I'm gonna gift some of these jars of juice here. I'll give y'all a shot of the jars of juice. And I got up, and I think I made 19, which was 2 batches of Muscadine jelly, them little jelly jars. I think it was 19 of them. I'll give y'all a shot of that here. Looked like it turned out good. But now I'm back in here, and I come in here and I took this thing apart, and the little motor here, sure enough, is burned up. Well, I ain't gonna video me doing this, but here's my thought. I'm gonna put this thing back together, and I'm gonna have it where I can run it off of a cordless drill and see how that works for next time. So after I get this thing put together here and hooked up with me a cordless drill, I'm gonna show y'all the outcome. So guys, right here is my 19 jars of Muscadine jelly that I made out of that juice. Ain't that some pretty? That's some good stuff too if you ain't never eaten no Muscadine jelly. But I just used the recipe that comes in the original Sure Gel box. But you don't list Muscadines in there, it listed grapes. And that's the recipe that I've always used and my mom always used for years. But usually, guys, 1 batch of that is enough to get you 9 of these jelly jars. But with doing 2 batches in a row, with a little bit left over out of the first batch, and then I, of course, started the next batch in the same pot, it was enough to end up with an extra jar. So that's 19 jars. So now I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to work on this tomato strainer. But I think what I'm going to do next, guys, instead of buying another one of them strainers, I'm going to buy me a press. I think I'd like a press better anyway. But that's just something I'm looking at now. But I'm going to make this one here run off that drill if I can. Alright, guys. So what I did, I took that apart. And I pulled the outside of the motor off. And it's got the little shaft that was sticking out here. And that drill, I clamped right onto that shaft. Now, of course, I'm going to have to put me a zip tie or something on my trigger on my drill. But just to do a test, I went out to the garden and I pulled some tomatoes. They ain't fully ripe, but they're ripe enough to test this out. And I got some little Honey Delight tomatoes. Now these bigger tomatoes here, I'm gonna take my knife and cut them in half. Now guys, for right now, I just got this Black & Decker 20-volt drill. But it'll let me know if this is gonna work, because I can put electric drill on there if I need to. That's removable. All it is just like putting a bit in a drill and tightens it up with your hand. But we're gonna see if this works here. I'm gonna cut some of these bigger tomatoes right here in quarters. We'll let a couple of them run through there. This is the little deal that comes with it to push them down. Oh yeah, it's starting. Takes a little bit to get that whole chute and get that twirly shaft there loaded, but they starting to come out. gonna put me a zip tie on that trigger so I won't have to sit there and hold it. I do is a way to hold my drill down. See, I put my hand on it, everything's good and smooth. Guys, that's working, but I think electric drill is going to be better. I don't think that's turning it as fast as the motor that was in here is turning it. Well, there's some pup just now getting there, because I ain't got enough tomatoes to get the pup starting to run out the end down here. I don't know if y'all can see. Out of them few tomatoes, I got a bowl of juice, half a bowl. Then you would have to scrape that off. The longer you run, you start getting that in there for your salsa. Alright guys, so here's the finished product. After I done that with them few tomatoes I had, that showed me that yes, it was going to work. So I made some few more modifications. What I did, I took it back apart, and on the end of the shaft in there, a 10mm socket slid right up on that shaft, and I tack welded it with my wire welder onto that shaft. So now you can just take a drill and have one of these drill / socket adapters, which I already had. I can stick that in my drill, and then it just sticks on that socket. Then you can use any length of extension you want according to how you set up, and move your drill back here. Now, even before I started making this modification and it had its own motor, you still had to get creative setting this thing up, because I would set it up on something so I could get different size pans under here to catch my tomato juice, and something to catch my pulp coming out the end here. So I will get a little creative, see what works best. If I have to make me a little pup catcher that comes up over my drill here to keep juice from getting in my drill, I know I get a little creative. But I really like this thing. I used it this year making tomato juice and salsa and stuff. And I done a good bit of tomatoes with the thing, but I never run my pup back through twice because I had enough tomatoes. I wasn't trying to get that much juice, or didn't need to try to get extra juice out of the pup. And I don't know why I tried that, attempt that with them Muscadines, because I got, well, y'all seen almost 8 quarts of juice, and I only needed 1.5 quarts to make 2 rounds of jelly, which is way more jelly than we're gonna eat muscadine jelly in a year. I'm gonna end up gifting all of that juice to some other people. I told them they could have it to make them some jelly. So I shouldn't have never been trying to run that pup through there twice, and it overloaded the little motor. It was kind of aggravating. You would think they would have put something that would have triggered the motor off before it got too hot. You know, a lot of stuff has a reset button. If it gets too hot, you let it cool off and hit the reset button. With this one, it didn't have nothing. Once it got too hot, it was done. It burned it. The switch That's just an on switch and a reverse, forward and reverse. And actually, that's a little computer board behind there. So I think it messed it up and the motor. But either way, I can still use it to juice my tomatoes if I so choose to. By next year I may purchase a different kind of juicer or something. I do know, as far as my Muscadines, I've never had one of them press. I'm wanting to purchase me one of the press just to have to do my Muscadines and stuff with. But I thought instead of just throwing it away, I'd try to make something out of it. And this here drill here, like I said, you can hook it to a electric drill or whatever, but I'll probably be using my cobalt drill here because it's better speed control. But guys, that right there is the redneck ingenuity at its best. So I hope you enjoyed watching this little video. I know it was strung out over 2 days. Like I said yesterday, I was going to juice my Muscadines real quick. And I did. I run them all through the first time, and that's when I should have quit at that point and then just run them through the bag strainer like I did. But I didn't. But I got them juiced, got my jellies made, and guys, I know I give y'all a shot of that jelly, but there's that jelly. It's set up good. It's been sitting out here today. Muscadine jelly. Would I purchase this again? I'd probably try a different brand next time if I purchase a juicer, not this Weston. Like I said, I was happy with it. I just overloaded the joker trying to put the pump back through. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It'll help me with my YouTube channel. And I hope y'all have a great day and a great week. God bless. See y'all next time.